Strange is happening in the race for the White House. From stem cell research to nuclear weapons and faith-based initiatives to global warming, John McCain and Barack Obama are starting to agree more on these once controversial issues. So how are potential voters deciding just who to vote for? Let's ask radio talk show host John DePetro and David Goodfriend. Guys, and we'll start with you, David. What are your listeners saying about any of these issues? Did they see a sense that Obama and McCain are moving together?
Absolutely not. I mean, none of our listeners are going to accuse Barack Obama as being John McCain's identical twin on just about anything. When you look at the major issues of the day, like the economy, like the war in Iraq, their differences are wide. You've got a tax policy in John McCain where he wants to renew the George W. Bush tax cuts and drive us further into deficit, whereas Barack Obama says we ought to be realigning our policy so that we go back something closer to the Clinton years when the economy was booming. On Iraq, you've got John McCain saying we should be in there 100 years. And in the case of Barack Obama, he's saying we should have a rational plan for getting out, but getting out as quickly and responsibly as possible. So no, our folks out in Left Jab are not saying that these guys have very much in common.
John, I have the same question for you, but I want to point out that this article stems from a Los Angeles Times piece today, and just to offer a different viewpoint, they left out the social issues in there. No mention about issues like abortion, sex education, gay rights, gun rights, these sorts of things. Do your listeners see gray areas anywhere between Obama and McCain?
They do see gray, Griff, and the problem for Obama is it's a big shift for him to move to the center. It probably would have been easier for Hillary Clinton. But if we start to see McCain come out at a rally with U2 music and chanting, "Yes, we can," they'll know that they're both starting to meet in the center. Change is suddenly meaning that Barack Obama is changing his positions on everything, from Iraq. There's even talk today that he may select Chuck Hagel, a Republican, as his VP candidate. And that does not play to the elitist left that Barack Obama won the primary for and counts on. But one of the biggest problems for Barack, Griff, is the problem that back in 2004, John Kerry got swift-boated by the Veterans for Truth. Now we have the Reverends for Truth, with Jesse Jackson doing damage to him. We had Reverend Wright do damage for him. The Obama people are in trouble, and this latest Newsweek poll shows right now it's a dead heat.
Okay, John, let me stop you there for a second. David, there's a lot of stuff. Respond to that.
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing is I'm not sure what polls my friend in Boston is looking at. Most polls are showing that the race is widening in the general election vote, and that even in swing states, Barack Obama is breaking away. So the numbers kind of speak for themselves. If these guys were so much alike, you would see the polls tightening, and that's not what's happening in the vast majority of polls. That's point number one. Point number two, in Barack Obama, what you have is someone who's not casting one way or another with a special interest group or a faction of the party. He's calling them like he sees them. My friend mentioned Jesse Jackson. Well, Barack Obama went right back at Jesse Jackson and said, I'm going to tell the African-American community that fatherhood is important. I'm going to say things that really matter to me, even if it upsets Jesse Jackson. That's not pandering. That's not switching sides. That's being true and honest. John McCain used to be like that. Back in 2000, John McCain really was somebody who called it like he sees it. But the John McCain of 2000 would never vote for the John McCain of 2008. And that's where you find a lot of shading of the truth, a lot of shuffling to the center. That's where the problem is for the Republicans.
David Goodfriend and John DePetro, I just had a civil discussion between two radio hosts that didn't yell at each other and responded to each other. I really appreciate you being here. This is part of our America's Voices, having the radio folks to tell us what their listeners are saying. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Pleasure.